You got Coach P. You checking Twitter?
No.
What are we doing here?
Just sitting here checking Twitter.
Well, the tweets this week made sweet by comeback victory feats. Griffon football is up to its old tricks, while the one they call Legatron back getting his kicks.
Is long enough, and it is good enough.
This week we welcome an old friend, now as a foe, as the number 6 team in the nation comes back home to St. Joe. GSI starts now, so let's go.
You're watching Griffon Sports Insider, presented by Spine and Sport Physical Therapy. Now, here are your hosts, Brett Esely and Ryan Menley.
Hello and welcome. We're back. Griffon football home opener this Saturday night, and you know what? They come home with a 1-0 record. Feels good.
Yeah, what a way to get that first W. A comeback victory in Warrensburg. A young team growing up fast. Let's take a look. Warrensburg, Missouri, season opener for the defending MIAA champions. The defense begins now.
Let's have some fun, man. I want to see us play fast, let's play furious, and have a lot of fun.
Not sure fun would be the word of choice to describe this one. Western jumped out to a 28-0 lead on Central Missouri in last year's season opener. This is not last year, though. The young Griffon group struggling on 0 early. Drops were contagious Thursday. Things just didn't seem in sync. Griffin's got down 9-0 early, but found some footing in the second quarter. Sophomore Raphael Spencer finds a whole 11-yard touchdown run. Spencer 13 carries, 91 yards rushing on the night. Griffs go to halftime down 9-7. Second half, though, struggles return. Griffs trying to take the lead with a field goal. Bad snap, though, and no dice. Western's next possession, Travis Partridge trying to make something happen. This is something, but that's not a good something. Picked up by Central's Tevin Teamer, and he's gone. 30-yard pick six. Central takes a 16-7 lead. Griffs would turn it over on their next possession, but the defense keeping the Mules at bay all night. Kurt Petrol delivering one of 4 Griffon sacks from the D-line. Meanwhile, the new-look O-line with its 5 new faces, including true freshman John Carter, no choice but to grow up fast or sink. Things finally start clicking at the end of the third. Partridge, plenty of time to pass, going deep. He hooks up with sophomore Stephon Weaver, a 55-yard scoring strike. Griffin's now within 3. Start of the fourth quarter, more big plays. Partridge to Derek Libby. Watch him put on the moves. Zigs, zags, hits the B button and goes 56 yards for the score. Griffins have their first lead of the game at 20-16, but Central coming right back on 4th and goal. Hayden Hawk to Colin Rosine. Touchdown. Mules regain the lead with 4:32 to play, but despite the youth, some of the key cogs have been through this before, and that makes all the difference. 14 seconds to play in the game. Griff's out of timeouts, but not even flinching. Who do you go to when you're in the red zone? You go to Reggie Jordan every time, all the time, because that's what happens. Touchdown, ball game. Missouri Western sneaks out of Warrensburg with a 26-23 season opening victory. They've now won 10 out of 11 against the Mules, and despite losing the turnover battle, the time of possession, and being outgained in the game, the Griffs are 1-0.
I don't want to be brash, but I just told him, I said, sometimes champions are hard to knock out, and that's what we want to be. When we a champion attitude, when we come out of the field, we want to play like champions, and sometimes they're just hard to knock out, and that's what we want to be. We tried to lose that football game. We did not play well the first half, and we played well for 3 or 4 drives, and we did enough. It's hard to knock out a champion. And
here's what I can tell you. It's game 1 against a great Central team. It's going to be rough to start. We got all of our game 1 mistakes out of the way, and once we start firing, you saw at the end there, we can make plays.
You know, it's just the first game. I mean, we definitely have a lot to build on. We got a long ways to go, but we got the dub. That's all that matters.
So, 89, what were you thinking on that last play?
To be honest, I knew it was coming to me. I said I got him where I want him.
I think probably everyone in the stadium knew that that last play was going to go to you.
I had no idea. Yeah, I tried to play it off, you know, like I wasn't getting the ball, but, you know, everybody knew it was coming.
Well, that was a great play by you, sir. I hope we can get more of those this season.
Yes, sir, definitely.
Well, we just heard from the Jordan brothers. Now we're going to hear from Coach Jerry Partridge. A young team, but you have a senior quarterback, obviously, and one of the best tight ends in Division II, Reggie Jordan, and those two made the difference in the final seconds.
Well, we have a young team in some places, but there's also some very experienced players in some places. And those two are two of the experienced guys, and we made enough plays. I mean, I don't think we played our best football. I wouldn't say it was. I talked about this in the media lunch. I don't think you ever go into Warrensburg and beat the Mules and say it was an ugly win. That doesn't exist. And when you beat Central Missouri in any sport, it's good. And certainly their football program is good. It was a good win. But Reggie made a clutch play. Travis was very clutch down the stretch, made a lot of great plays, and just we kind of found a way to win that football game. Defensively, I thought we held them at bay pretty much the whole game, other than one really, really bad play. We played great defense and kept them there while offense kind of got their sea legs together a little bit and figured out how to win a football game.
You know, when people look at the guys that we lost from last year's team, obviously people point to the defensive line and say, no David Bass, no Ben Peaster, no John Brown, no Shantre Bryson, but you've been saying we're going to be fine at that position. I'd say it was more than fine last Thursday. Giannis Modelis all over the field. John Oglesby had a nice night. That's going to be a strong group on this team.
4 sacks from your D-line.
They're very athletic. The D-ends are very, very athletic. And John Oglesby is actually faster than David Bass. Not as long, not as instinctive as David, probably not quite as physical with his hands. However, John's he's a collision guy. He's really mean and physical. Giannis is probably a better athlete than Benny. Now, the measuring stick of the passion and the heart and all that stuff, that's to be determined. But inside, we're more athletic and more disciplined and physical in there. So I think our D-line's going to be really good. I think you'll see our linebacking core get better as the year goes on with Yami getting healthier and healthier. I was real pleased with at least what we got out of him. Thursday night, Yami Ali he made about 3 plays that were Yami-esque, and I'm hoping he gets healthier and healthier as it goes.
Offensive line, the biggest question mark coming into the season. Rate their performance on Thursday.
I haven't really talked much with Throck. He felt pretty pleased with some of them. I think he's pleased with his tackles. I thought they both played pretty well and pass pro well. We can pass pro better inside the guards and center. I think Jeremy Jacobson kind of got our O-line award, played well. The guards can do a better job of pass protection.
True freshman in there too.
Yeah, John Carter played when Travis Anderson sprained his ankle, and he's going to be a good football player. He's just such a big puppy. He's a puppy, but he's big, and they did well. And we can't start getting injured there, though. It could be a problem again. But I don't think there's too many Division II programs that can say the other way. I think everybody's really worried about their line depth.
From a wide receiver standpoint, a lot of drops. What do you make of that? Opening night jitters, just coincidence?
I agree, a lot of drops. I think they're all very capable and can play. But there was probably 6, 7 of them that probably we'd have had another 150 yards of passing offense, and who knows, we wouldn't have had all the drama. But, I say it all along when I watch my favorite teams or our games, if you know you're going to win, those thrilling, heart-wrenching games, when you win them, they're a lot more special. If you know you're going to win, because you don't want to lose them.
How are you health-wise coming out of there?
Travis Anderson, again, the ankle's a little bit, is tender. We hope to have him maybe Saturday. There's a couple nicks and bruises where we'll know more later in the week, where maybe Thursday we might know. Right now we anticipate having everybody else, and including Travis, be available.
Well, home opener this Saturday night. You got an old familiar foe coming to town in Tyler Fenwick and Missouri S&T. We'll talk about the Miners when GSI comes back.
I am your physical therapist. My job is to make you better. Go ahead, give me your worst injury. I can fix it. You can ignore that shoulder. You can go to someone else. Doesn't matter. To really get better, you gotta go through me. I'm Fred Schunkweiler, and this is Spine and Sport.
Your leg bone connected to you, knee bone connected to you, thigh bone down here, the word of the Lord.
It's all connected.
Connected to you, hip bone, your hip bone connected to you, backbone, your backbone connected to you, shoulder bone down here, the word of the Lord.
The Griffins open the home season this Saturday night under the lights at Spratt Stadium, 6 p.m. The opponent, Missouri S&T. Their head coach, a guy Griffin Nation knows fairly well. Tyler Fenwick left Missouri Western last winter to take over the reins of the Miners. Fenwick served as the Griffins' offensive coordinator for the last 6 seasons. Cool storyline.
It's exciting to get back there, but at the same time, it's, we're also going out there to play a football game. And, my big thing is it's not really about me going back to St. Joe's, about our team and our players getting a chance to play, against a top-ranked team. I don't know that either one of us are going to change what we do just for this game. I think it's going to be, more about not making mistakes and just trying to, be consistent. Are we going to get a big prediction from Big Bo?
Stick 'em, ha ha ha, stick 'em. Stick 'em, ha ha ha, stick 'em. Gonna put the beat.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that moment you've all been waiting for, another edition of the Emmy Award-winning Beatboxing with Bo. Bo, Missouri S&T coming to town this week. I know you've studied the film. What's your prediction?
164-12, Griffins roll.
164-12. Come on, former Griffon offensive coordinator Tyler Fenwick, now at the reins of Missouri S&T. He's doing a good job down there. It's going to be closer than that, right?
164-12, because Tyler Fenwick quit the Miners 4 minutes into the game and rejoined the Griffins.
Unlikely, but your scenario there, because of why?
Total pain.
I'm not sure.
Probably not going to happen, is it?
Yeah, I'm not sure you can do that.
I really appreciate what he does to motivate our opponents.
Oh, he's doing a darn good job of it.
It's worked out. It's only backfired one time.
I heard Missouri Southern saying what he said that week.
Yeah, that was only 1 year ago in one game, so it's like everything else. Yeah.
Tyler Fenwick appreciates it.
Weird deal. This game against S&T scheduled before Fenwick took the job, so kind of stars align, huh?
Yeah, pretty strange. I've had it happen one other time. One of my assistants, he coached with us, Jeff Fleicher coached with us in '97, and we coached. He left to Fort Hays and was the head coach. We ended up playing them. It was already on the schedule. I think we played them in 2000, and they beat us. So I hope that doesn't happen. But Tyler's a great coach. He did a great things for us, and did a great job developing Travis, I thought, and very close to Travis. And as a father, I'm always appreciative of what the job he did with him. So. It's a lot of twofold things. It's very difficult to play against a friend and somebody you know well, and I'm sure he's very, very, reflective of what he's facing. I'm sure watching the film, it's difficult to see all those kids he knows so well, and to watch us win a big football game against Central, and to, it's just going to be strange. And but we can't let that get in the way. We got a task at hand. He does too, and we're both trying to get a win.
This is a team that was 10-1 a year ago. They lost to a nationally ranked team on Thursday night at their place in double overtime on a pick-6 in Chadron State. This is going to be a tough football game, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's not the same S&T that left our league, I'll tell you that. It used to be you watched on film, and the defensive speed was really, really bad. Offensively, they might have had some skill kids and did a good job schematically, but you always felt like you're going to score a lot of points on them. They defensively actually have, to me, MIAA caliber talent. They got a secondary kids that can run around and cover. They're going to play a lot of man. They're going to be coming from different directions. I can see them trying to get us into some bad plays and try to get some turnovers. And they're active and run well on the D-line. Offensively, I mean, the biggest strength they have is just Tyler's play calling and his ability to figure out schemes are going to work. He knows our scheme very, very well. He's gone against it in the spring and August, and he knows the things that his offense against us we're able to get some things done with. Now, we never game planned them. We always just played our base stuff, and now we'll be kind of game planning what we would do against our offense to a certain extent. So it's going to be interesting, but we really have to focus in and just have a great week and try to win this game.
Now, he said you don't really change what you do, but do you change what you do?
No, I don't think so. Neither one of us will change. They're going to run their offense. He's been running that offense forever. As you talk to him weekly the last 6 years, it was always, what do you think? Well, we're going to do what we do. And there's certain wrinkles or certain things, but it's always, well, I think we're going to run zone or whatever it was that was going to. And it didn't matter what the personnel was. Now, we were always having very, very good personnel on our team, but I think he always felt comfortable that there were certain things he was always going to be able to do within his scheme. And a lot of his passing stuff is predicated on every route. It's just going to adjust to what the coverage is. And there's a lot of bread and butter stuff that he does all the time, and he'll do it again.
Biggest improvement between week 1 and week 2 that needs to be made with your program?
Catch the ball. Make sure we cover who we're supposed to cover, because that was a big play there. We turned a guy loose, and then that field goal unit needs to get shored up a little bit. We're disappointed how we protected it. We didn't snap it well. We didn't kick it well. So to me, those are the biggest negatives that we draw from it.
A lot of fan mail last week for the Tantalizing Trio, and guess what? It's back. Our soup today is split pea.
Split pea soup.
It was 4-course meal last week, and
that
promotion's over,
line,
so it's
right.
split
I
pea.
don't get it either.
Well, Coach P, got guess what? The Chiefs won this past weekend and won pretty convincingly. It was just Jacksonville, but after week 1, your prediction on how many wins the Chiefs are going to have this year?
I'm still staying in the 7 to 8 range. I think Jacksonville's offense is awful.
I
would agree with that.
Disagree with that one bit. Obviously an exciting win last week, excluding last year because there were a lot of exciting finishes last year. Do you have a game that sticks out in your mind that finished last second that was a great win? You have a favorite that sticks out in your mind?
I don't have a favorite. We've had a few here. Obviously Saturday, Leicester's it was good, and Maryville last year was a pretty good one. We've had a lot of them, so there's been 15 to 20 of them. So just to say one over the other would be hard to do. But we've had, probably last November would have to be the one.
I did say excluding last year.
You did say excluding last year?
Yes, I did.
I was ignoring you evidently.
I thought you were talking about the Chiefs win. That's where I thought you were going.
I would say that. There's also been some great overtime wins. We beat Washburn in 05 in overtime. That was a great win. I think that field goal in Washburn in whatever year that was where Beckwith hit that bomb was pretty cool too. So there's several of them. Really. It's hard to just pick one.
And finally, and I don't think it's fair to call you this, but you're a social media guy now. I don't think I'm going to call you Mr. Social Media, but you're a star on Twitter. Do you have a favorite hashtag you like to use, or do you use hashtags? I'm just curious.
I generally do not use them. Right off the bat, I was using them a lot, and I just feel like I don't get the point of this. And Menley evidently says there's a point to it. I'll just hashtag Go Griffins, so Max the Griffin will get it and retweet.
Actually, you need to hashtag Go Griffs, not Go Griffins.
Well, I'd hope that Max Griffin, would follow me and do that anyway.
Well, you're right. We'll talk about that off camera. Well, that's. I'll tell you what. Let's just talk about next week. Let's talk about another win and being 2-0.
All right,
we
sounds
can
good.
do that. No more Twitter hashtags. That's Jerry Partridge. Home game Saturday night, 6 o'clock against Missouri S&T. GSI will be right back.
Power equals 2 times the gravitational constant times mass over the radius from the center of mass.
What'd you say?
Train like the pros and jump. At net D, 700 cubic centimeters of blood is displaced from the extremities back to the heart. What I'm trying to say is, aquatic therapy gets your blood pumping.
Hey, say go Griff. Go Griff.
Do this.
Missouri Western Sports invades St. Joseph. Griffin athletes pack numerous local businesses, including Hy-Vee for the Paint It Gold Blitz. Griff's giving posters, schedules to promote the upcoming sports seasons.
Attention Hy-Vee shoppers, we currently have a special at the south entrance. First 4 customers to show up will receive 2 tickets to a Missouri Western football game, and also bananas, 59 cents a pound.
Some Griffins using the experience for careers after the playing field, like art.
We have a pirate.
Business.
I will trade you 2 posters for 2 pounds, a hamburger, and maybe a steak. I wasn't joking.
And sometimes when talks break down, you take a different approach.
Apparently the front of Hy-Vee is not the most popular place to give away posters, so we're going to walk around Hy-Vee and force people to take them, whether they like it or not.
Hey, buddy, you want a poster?
I can't right now. I'm stalking.
No, take the poster. Take the poster.
And I'll take the waffles.
Hey, man.
Got my hands full, guys.
Here.
Sorry.
Here, I'll take that for you. There you go.
Oh,
There you go. Have a great day.
Thanks, guys.
The Griffins open their respective seasons in September. Deals on bananas run through the weekend.
If they don't come for the tickets, they'll be there for the bananas. No problem.
And welcome back. Hijinks from the Griffins off the field, but you know what? On the field, they meant business last week, Brett Esely.
Well, they certainly did mean business. And of course, we know about football's comeback win at Central, but Griffin volleyball is off to a solid start as well. Griffin volleyball is off to a 2-2 start under first-year coach Marion Carbon. That's after a solid weekend against solid competition at the Pitt State Invitational, which included a win over the host Gorillas on their court. Missouri Western back in action this weekend with 4 more matches. This weekend at the NSIC Invitational in South Dakota. They won't play a home match until September 24th, meaning this team has a rough few weeks ahead.
Doing well in those first 7 weeks is going to determine the course of our season, because after the first 7 weeks, we'll know where we stand, and it'll be because of how we've played on the road. So mental toughness, being prepared, time management, so that we're ready to go on the road and have nothing else on our minds but winning.
Missouri Western soccer is now 1-1 after its road trip to Minnesota. The Griffons lost their opener 2-0 Friday at Bemidji State, but defeated Minnesota State Moorhead 2-0 on Sunday. GSI back after this.
Sometimes I wonder if Elvis had hip pain. And if he did, I know I could have fixed it. And if I did, he'd still be alive today.
She takes headaches away with her bare hands. Men run thousands of miles for her without ever leaving the room. She once helped a woman avoid carpal tunnel surgery by serving up drinks with a twist. She is the most helpful physical therapist in the world.
I don't always go to physical therapy, but when I do, I prefer Spine and Sport.
1 week into the NFL season, and Legatron was up to his old tricks. Griffon alum Greg Zuerlein booted another game winner for St. Louis last Sunday, a 48-yarder in the final minute to lift the Rams to a 27-24 victory over Arizona. Zuerlein, a perfect 4 for 4 on field goals in the game, so that means he's 4 for 4 on the season. Greg Zuerlein could win you a fantasy league all by himself, Brett Esely.
He could. That's simple math. They played one game and he's 4 for 4. He's perfect on the year. Perfect. Well, you know what? He is a true pro. And speaking of that, Spine and Sports' Fred Schonkweiler returns for another pigskin prep tip in this week's Train Like the Pros.
All right, we're here with Dalton Kreis of Missouri Western Football, talk a little injury prevention. And today we're going to introduce the functional movement screen. Over the next 7 weeks, we're going to demonstrate 7 tests. These are screening tests that look at the mobility and the stability of an athlete so that we can help identify a weak link pre-season in order to prevent that injury. So let's get started. Test number 1, the deep squat. Dalton's going to put this bar up over his head. Up over his head, he gets started, and he's going to try to go into a deep squat all the way down. And what we're looking for is how well does that ankle move? How well does the knee, the hip? We want to see the angles here, the angle of his spine related to that. And what we're seeing here is that Dalton doesn't get down as low maybe as we want to, so we're going to bring him back up. He's going to go back now on his feet up onto this board. We just bought him about 10 degrees of ankle motion. Now he's going to go down, and as he squats, we see that that hip gets a little lower. So that helps him get through that chain. He's parallel here, and now we're looking at this bar. And that bar falls a little bit in front of his toes. Go ahead and come up, Dalton. That tells me right there that his spine is a little tight. So as we're looking at that kinematic chain, we're identifying the weak link. That's going to help us design a program to help him prevent injuries in the coming season. That is the deep squat, test number 1 of our athletic profile. Train like the pros at Spine and Sports.
We are at the Student Athletic Advisory Committee, kind of supporting Griffson to kind of introduce the new players and some of the returners to the new players.
We just have a good time, let everyone know that, hey, we're all Griffs, let's have a good time and support each other.
You can tell his music knowledge is more expanded than others.
And then we also had pie eating contest. You have to do that every year.
Cal, you were a pie eating champion for 2013. Your thoughts and just how you did it.
Inhale.
You were not declared the winner.
I won way before that. She just wasn't over there. I ate more than him. I don't know what else you want to say.
Welcome back. True athletes, ladies and gentlemen.
Never a doubt about that.
Looked the part.
I love pie, huh?
You know what time it is?
Can't wait. What time is it?
Time for role play.
Wow, it's back after a week, after a 7-month hiatus.
Yeah,
we didn't have it last week.
Kid on Christmas.
I can't wait. Who is it? Who am I?
You ready?
I can't wait.
You just love to do this.
I'm giddy with anticipation.
Yeah, I know. You're like
I
tweaking
am.
out. Yeah.
I can hardly stand here.
Brett, you are Chiefs head coach.
Yes.
Andy Reid.
All right.
You knew you were.
Finally, something positive.
You coached the Chiefs to a 28-2 season opening victory in
We're going to go undefeated this year.
The
Maybe
Jaguars
not.
are horrible.
They're bad.
Yeah. So
hey, it's the NFL.
Here's a question: are you for real?
Well, first of all, how come you didn't bring my red pullover? I wear that thing all the time. The short sleeve, half zip. You know, I wore it every day during camp. I wore it every day during practice. I wore it yesterday. And we're 1-0. Yes, the Jaguars are bad, but hey, you got to line up and play in the NFL. Our defense is much improved. We have 50 Pro Bowlers on that side of the ball. And how about my quarterback, Alex Smith? Played with poise, threw the ball well, ran the offense. We took care of the football. Yeah, one block punt, so be it. Jacksonville had to score some way. We got Dallas coming to town this weekend. Arrowhead Stadium's going to be rocking. We're going to beat the Cowboys at Arrowhead on Sunday.
No, you're not.
Yes, we are.
What's the score going to be next week?
17-13.
No, you're
yes, indeed. Low scoring, grinded out. Arrowhead Stadium is back. 115 decibels.
I'm tired of it. Let's my turn.
Ryan, guess what?
Yeah.
Whoa, I like it. You're Slim Shady. You're Eminem. You spent an entire college football interview with Brent Musburger tweaking out. What the heck is wrong with you?
Tweaking out?
Speaking of tweaking out.
I'll tell you one thing. Cocaine is a hell of a drug, ladies and gentlemen.
I guess so.
And speaking of
Max.
tweaking out, Max. Nice.
He's been suspended
back.
for 7 months. His suspension ended last week. You'll remember how last year ended. I mean, he was punching people left and right. And Tom Smith knocked you out. Probably served you right.
How do you feel?
How do you feel?
Doing all right?
Well, you look great. You look like $1 million.
You're on some really good pain medication.
Wow,
like
I guess
right
so.
Now.
Boy.
That's really awkward.
Whew, man, glad he was able to make it in. Boy, glad he was ready to go for the show.
Nice to
have you back. Boy,
yeah, that's
I
great.
don't know. Sorry,
I
folks.
hope you're feeling a little bit
bad
better
about
next
that.
week, Max.
Yeah, maybe you can pull it together next week.
That is GSI for this week.
He'll be at the game Saturday night, though.
Yeah. Free T-shirts.
1,500 free T-shirts. United Way night. Come on out and tailgate. A lot of good things going on. We hope to have a packed house, and I think we will.
Griffins in Missouri, S&T, 6 p.m. kickoff. We'll see you there. We'll see you on GSI next week.
As always, ladies and gentlemen, we're gold, go Griffs.
Clausen will hold no wind to speak of. The kick is up. It is long enough, and it is good! Greg Zuerlein from 57 yards away.
Greg Zuerlein came to me before football season last year. He just had hip surgery. He tore his labrum, which is a piece of cartilage around the hip socket. And in that surgery, they also found out he had a torn quad.
I was still having problems with my leg. And, I wasn't kicking the ball as far, and, I'd always have pain in my leg after kicking.
No one really found the cause of the injury. They fixed the symptom. But when he came to me, we found out that his left leg, his plant leg, was really unstable. The cause of his right hip quad tear was the fact that he wasn't balanced. So we analyzed his technique and his form, and then we went to work.
Working with Fred, he helped me correct that with some of his exercises, and going to his clinic really helped me, my leg to be fresh after kicking, and after working with him a few times, I could tell the pain would start to go away.
We have that training, that background. We have the facilities with the pool, with our technology to really train people how to perform at the highest levels.
I've done stuff that I've never done at any other physical therapy place, and I've been to a lot of physical therapists, so, it helped me, and so I think it'd be a good place to go in the future, and I'll continue to work with him whenever I'm back in town.
One from 58, high snap. Zuerlein's first NFL kick is
Train like the pros. He's been a great person to work with, and exemplifies what we're trying to do here.